Hello, I'm Mohammad Junaid, a student of third year computer science engineering. Bengaluru was once known as the Garden City of India, but I feel that this romantic nickname has become obsolete in the name of rapid urban development. I feel very nostalgic when I recall how Bengaluru used to be back then and how Bengaluru is right now.
I can relate very well to his topic because when I arrived in Kamnali first 10 years ago, there was greenery everywhere. There were trees, plants everywhere. I could go to my terrace and I could see only plants. Today, if I do that, I just see buildings and buildings and buildings.
Okay, I agree, but constructing buildings is not a bad thing. When you construct a building, we can see our institution, our campus. It has a lot of buildings, but to the same ratio, they have planted so many trees to maintain the greenery.
For once we think, oh, I want a beautiful lake view house and that's my dream and I'm going to get it. But nobody for a minute or an instant waits to think what its ecological effect would be. Over here we saw 30 fishes being extinct. People like, oh, what is the big deal, 30 fishes? But these 30 fishes, into the multiplying them into the number of years that are to come, you're talking about thousands and thousands of species becoming extinct just for our own desires of having a luxurious life. The question is it worth it?
Talking of lakes, I would like to mention that no one was aware of this issue, but one incident caught the attention of everyone that one of the lakes was catching fire inside the water, and that incident caught the attention of everyone, and then the state government took action. I don't know what action the state government is taking, but well, I think something has to be done to preserve the lakes. And I really feel that Bangalore's lakes are going to be extinct if we don't take any action.
According to Save Green, an NGO, at least 43 trees were cut down on major roads for the purpose they are obstructing advertising boards. We have seen numerous trees have been poisoned for the purpose of advertising or shopping malls not seen or extra car parking or inconvenience as leaves fall. These can be prevented by early detection and filing up criminal action against the culprits.
We understand the depth of intensity of what can happen to our ecological system by just dumping normal waste, okay? And we're not even talking about separate atomic waste or any such waste. Now, there was a sensational case about clinical waste being illegally dumped in the water bodies. Can you imagine the kind of damage it will do to the entire ecosystem? Forget animals, maybe people don't consider animals anymore. You're not worried about what will happen to them. But have you thought in the same soil the water is filled with is growing your vegetables, your fruits that you consume daily. People get schizophrenia, people grow malnutrition, there are so many, issues that are going to happen because of this. Clinical waste being dumped in water bodies is one of the biggest threat to Indian society, and nobody's thinking about that.
I relocated to Bangalore 10 years ago and I find a vast difference in the old Bangalore and the new Bengaluru. It is heartbreaking to look at the plight of Racecourse Road. It had so much of lush green vegetation, but all of it is gone because of the road widening project. And same applies to CMH Road, where all the green cover was chopped off just for the metro project. There is a solution. Road widening projects are sanctioned 5 years in advance. So in that time gap, why don't the people take up the responsibility to plant trees in other areas which reduces the ecological impact? Or the road widening projects can happen in places where there's not much vegetation.
When you talk about the construction taking years, delaying so much, I've seen almost three flyovers being constructed for as long as I'm alive, and two of them happened pretty fast. This was located in KR Puram, the hanging bridge, and the ring road flyover which connects to the hanging bridge. But what I've seen is the flyovers only cause more traffic congestion because the ring road bridge leads to tin factory, and you know how hard it is to cross that. And the latest bridge would be the Hennur flyover, which was started when I was in 10th standard, and it's still not complete. It's just been left there. And recently, I think they just started it again. And this causes, again, road widening and demolition of buildings.
So from my perspective, why the Bangalore is no more garden city is because being an IT sector of India, lots of people are coming to India. I mean, like in Bangalore for study purpose. So for them, they need a livelihood. For them, they need a lot of luxury lives and all this. Because of that, they are cutting lots of trees. They are building a lot of luxurious house. So because of that reason, India, Bangalore is no more a garden city. So another thing that I want to say is, government also, for every individual, we should know the meaning of urbanization. Urbanization doesn't only mean building and constructing bridge and big buildings and malls and all this stuff. Urbanization, it also means we need a greenery. We need a greenery urban, which contain lots and lots of gardens and flowers, which we can enjoy the natures. So urbanization should not be only building and all this stuff. So that is the thing that I want to say, and we all should know what really urbanization means.
He was talking about it's taking ages to construct a building. See, a building or bridge or whatever. See, a kid can't walk as soon as it starts by birth, right? Nobody is born genius here. So you need time for everything. So government, it's trying to take an action to implement and to build a good bridges or something. Yeah, I agree it's taking time, but they need time for everything, I feel. So it's just,
Like we see a lack of consultation also here. All of a sudden they'll come up with an idea and they'll say we will implement it. We want to construct this building here. We want to do bridges here. What is that? They have to consult the people also, because as we are in democratic country, we have all rights to speak about against the government also. So they have to consult people also before taking any kind of decisions.
One thing I'm glad about us having this discussion is the fact that for the first time I can see that the youth, our friends, are not only, steady on blaming the government, like government has to do this, government has to do that. We're also, taking responsibility for ourselves, and that's great. But apart from personal responsibility and governmental responsibility, don't you think the corporate sector is equally responsible to do something about it? Why do you think there's a separate chapter called ethics for them, business ethics, for the corporate sector? So today you're seeing one of the biggest issue is the builders' encroachment. Now for people sometimes don't understand the technical term, so let me break it down. Basically, when builders, for their own benefit, go and capture barren lands for building buildings and so on to develop their business, that is this entire issue. So there's nobody to question them here because they're the elite society, okay? They're a part of the elite society. They have a lot of power. There's a lot of power that rolls in their hands. But in this certain issue, it is something that it is out of the reach of the ordinary people is what they believe. But let us show them the power of not just media, the power of general youth today. You can, as a student, you can, as a responsible citizen, go and file a PIL, public interest litigation. Why is this happening? Because this is my right. I also have the right to have a clear, breathing environment. Why is it that for some people's business point of view that I have to suffocate in my own entire environment? Why should it be polluted for their own benefit? So let's talk about such important things and for once ignore the small nuances that the government might take or mislead at certain times.
Obviously, government or anybody, a single individual cannot take up everything as an initiative and change the whole world. We, the younger generations and each and every individual, it is our own responsibility to change our world if it is going to talks. Today, we are not in a green city. It is no more Bengaluru is no more a green city. So instead of that, what we can do is the education system, whatever is there, it can come into practicals. In the education system, what we are studying today, they can allow people to plant trees in their houses, in their small compartments, in the college life or in the school life if it is taught. I think tomorrow our children and everybody would be doing the same thing. We can take up small steps, initiatives to bring back our greenery and the lush green back to the Bengaluru. What do you say? Can we do this?
The history of Bangalore says that the IT industries were attracted by the beautiful weather and the dust-free environment of this city. But after coming here, I think the corporate world has played a major role in the destruction of the environment of this city. And I think we, as the citizen of this city, must take action against this exploitation of the resources of our city.
I have a point on this. We can just tell that the corporate world has changed or destroyed or exploited or etc. etc. But today, after our completion of our studies
after 1 year or 1.5 years, tomorrow even we also will be getting into corporates. So do you tell that we will be also completing it, so we will be also exploiting it? No. What we can do is, see, whatever the resources we have, we can consumize it and we can utilize it to the minimum extent, and we can get the maximum out of it. For example, when we have our electricity and power and fans, etc., we can consume, we can utilize very less, and I hope that we can conserve energy and use it for the better and future use.
A journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. So being a student, what we can do is very important. So what we can do is that we can form a program for the afforestation, regarding on the afforestation during a leisure time or during holiday. We can form a group and then we can go somewhere to plant where there's no more any trees. We can plant like this. And then we can form a campaign to not to against the government, to request the government where there are lots of garbage there, where there's no any kind of disposal stuffs. So we request the government to clean all these drainage which are very dirty, and then when we pass through all the buses and we smell so much things, and it's really cause lots of disease for each and everyone. So we can initiate this kind of program to make our Bangalore brighter and better like that.
And I'm really glad we brought this topic up, especially, a lot of us here are youth law students, and I don't think anybody is, less responsible towards the law than others. The recent and the most sensational case happening right now in Bangalore is about the steel bridge. More than 75% of the population, even though it will be a big convenience to them, is against this entire project. Why? Because for one building of that steel bridge, you'll have to cut down 800 trees. That means going back about 15 years of plantation. It'll take another 15 to 20 years to bring back the same plants, same trees, same ecological balance that right now is already imbalanced. So about this entire case, I felt that first time we saw people taking an initiative towards a greener city, towards a safer environment. They filed a public interest litigation, not just one, two. There were hundreds of people, hundreds of corporate sector people, hundreds of normal general public who went and filed a public interest litigation against this entire topic. But then again, just filing a PIL, does it end the entire issue? Cutting down of 800 trees, isn't that the worst possible thing that could happen at today's modern world?
And not only the steel bridge, wherever the empty places are there, where to be saying this, it's so grateful to be in Reva University. We see all green around in the Reva University, and I want this to happen throughout the city and get back the Bangalore back to back, as always say, green, go green.
Regarding steel bridges, there is didn't yet announce that a steel bridge is going to get constructed, but BD didn't get approved for that to construct that one. There is still discussion is going on in the government regarding that one.